शांतये गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुस्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां विदये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपार करुणा सिंधुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखर गुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहं। परित्यज्य मौनं वटादस्थितिं च व्रजन् भारतस्य प्रदेशात् प्रदेशं मधुस्यन्ति वाचा जनान् धर्ममार्गेण यन् श्रीजयेन्द्रो गुरुर्भाति चित्ते। नमामः शङ्करान् वाक्यविजयेन्द्र सरस्वतीं श्रीगुरुं शिष्टमार्गानुनेतारं सन्मतिप्रदं सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। So in Bhagavad Gita we have started to, Bhagavan Krishna has started to introduce karma yoga. So we saw that there is a difference between a karmi and a karma yogin. Both of them will do karma. There is no escape from karmas. And when I say karmas, it encompasses both Vaidhika karma and Laukika karma. Because people will study Bhagavad Gita, people will study Upanishad, they will all tell, okay, from now I am not going to do any karma. Okay, you leave all the Vaidhika karma. What are you going to do now? I am going to watch movies. Because Krishna does not talk anything about not watching movies. Krishna only says, don't do any karma. You know, this is the problem our society is facing because of not having a sampradaya knowledge. I will give you one example and then I will try to move ahead. This is not related directly to Gita, but this is something that needed to be told. We all have this teet. We have a concept called as teet, ashaucham. What do we say in ashaucham? You know, some people pass away and people with 7 generations, they will have several levels of ashaucham, 3 days, 1.5 days, 3 days, 10 days, etc. This person, Shastra says, okay, during ashaucham, don't do any puja. Even your routine normal puja, do not do. Sandhya Vandanam you have to do, but it has to be bare minimal Sandhya Vandanam. So what this person will do, of late I am seeing, that is why I am telling it out loud. He will not do Sandhya Vandanam. Why? He will say, yo Sandhya Vandanathu totta teetu. Swami room ku pona teetu. Of course he will not do puja. He will not do any spiritual actions. But instead of doing this, what he will do? He will go for movies. He will go eat out. Why? It defeats the very purpose of having asaucham. So when you cannot do spiritual actions, you have to refrain from doing other actions as well. That goes without saying. Krishna will later say, Sarva dharman parityajya Mameva Sharanam Vraja. So what this person do? He will leave all the dharmas, he will start doing adharmas. Because Krishna did not talk anything about adharmas. What does Krishna say? Krishna will only say Sarva Dharmanu Parityaja. Leave all of your dharmas, Krishna say. He did not say leave adharmas. That is why Shankaracharya will say, okay, Sarva Dharmanapi Parityaja. So we have to be very, 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 very careful while studying these shlokas. These shlokas talk about not doing karma for the sake of phalam. Later Krishna will say, okay, why should you do karma? Na chitta shuddhyartam karma kuru. You have to do karma in order to get purification of mind. When Krishna says do not do any karma, he says don't do any kamya karma, but you have to do nitya karma. There is no problem in doing nitya karma, because according to Shastra, nitya karma will not give any punyam. Nitya karma does not give you any punyam. On the other hand, if you don't do nitya karma, it gives you papam. Nitya karma is like the money that you have got in advance. Okay. A day-to-day example is, you have got a maid who is working for you. She got her salary in advance. The next month salary she got in advance. And then she cannot claim, okay, you are not going to give me any money, so I am not going to come to work. Even if we cannot do, if we get money in advance, because the money has already been paid, prepaid plan. Right? Same way, the money, the incentive for doing nitya karma is manushya janma. We have already been bestowed with manushya janma. We have already been bestowed with manushya janma. We have already been born in a certain varna, certain ashrama. So that is the phalan for doing nitya karma, which Bhagavan has given you even before you doing nitya karma. So I am enjoying the phalan of nitya karma. What is the phalan of nitya karma? The janma that you have taken. But if I don't do nitya karma, what you will do? You will get papam. So you are not going to get anything new phalam while doing nitya karma, because phalam has already been given to you. But if you don't do any nitya karma, you will get papam. The same way, the maid who has gotten an advance cannot claim money for the work that she has done, because she has already been paid. But just because she is not going to get any money does not mean that she cannot come to work, because when she stops coming to work, she will get penalty. Same thing with our manushya janma as well. So when Krishna talks about don't do any karma, he is not talking about Sandhya Vandanam at all. Because the first thing people leave while entering into Vedanta is they will stop doing Sandhya. They will do all the other blessed things. They will go to movie, they will run business, all other karma they will do. Why? Because Krishna does not talk about those karmas. Krishna only talks about Yamimam Pushpitam Vacham Pravadanti Avipashchitu Vedavadaratav Partha Nanedastiti Vadinaha Kamatmana Swargapara Janma Karma Palapradam Kriya Vijaya Bhagalam Bhogaishwarya Gatim Prati. They will say, do not listen to all those people. That is the result of studying Vedanta from a book. Mahapariva talks about that a lot in Devatin Kural. He gives them a nickname which unfortunately will be applicable for us as well. But we have to know that in spirit we do not belong to those category. Mahapariva gives the name English Vedantis. We also study Vedanta in English, but we have to make sure that we only use English as the medium or language for studying Vedanta, not the outlook. Our outlook is Sampradaya. Sampradaya with Guru is important. Studying Vedanta according to Sampradaya is very, 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 very important. We should never move away from the ideals of Shankaracharya, the ideals of Shruti, Smriti, Puranas, etc. So, Krishna tells, in these shlokas, in shlokas like 39, 40, 41, 42, etc., 43, etc., Krishna first talks about the importance of having a Nischayatmatva Buddhi. Nischayatmatva Buddhi is Achanchala Buddhi. We should have complete faith, complete Shraddha over Guru Shastra Upadesha. Krishna gives it a technical name called as Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. In Shloka number 41, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Ekeha Kurunandana Bahushaka Hinantascha Buddhayo Vyavasayinam Yamivam Pushpitam Vacham Pravadanti Avipaschitaha Vedavada Rataf Partha Nanyadastiti Vadinah. So, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi means Nischayatvatma Buddhi. We have to have a steady mind in following the Upadeshams of Shastra and Guru. You should follow the Upadeshams of Guru only if the Guru conforms to Shastra. So, if the Guru starts deviating from Shastra, you should also start deviating from the Guru. That is non-negotiable. Adherence to Shastra is absolute requirement. And a person is called as a Guru, a person is called as an Acharya, only when Acharya, the word, the meaning for the word Acharya, Mahabhariva again quotes that in Devakan Kural. Achinoditi Shastrartaha Acharet Acharye Stapayishyati Swayam Nacharate Yasmat Tasmat Acharya Ityavdi. A person, Acharya is a person, Achinoditi Shastrartaha, a person who has read the Shastras. Acharye Stapayishyati, a person who helps others to follow Shastra. Swayam Nacharate Yasmat, a person who himself or herself follow Shastra. These three are non-negotiable if you want to call a person as an Acharya. So, Acharya Lakshanam we have to know. We have to know that Vishwasa in Guru Shastra Upadesha. In one Guru, in one Shastra Upadesha. Bahushaka Hinantascha Buddhayaha Avyavasayina. I go read some Vedanta from one person and then some other Vedanta from some other person, some other thing from some other person. It is okay. People do this during Navaratri, they do Golu hopping. They will go to first house, they will go to second house, they will go to third house. Hopping is okay during Golu. In Western universities and all, especially in US universities, when people take classes, they have this practice of shopping for class. In India it is not present. But if you go to, especially universities in the US and to an extent in Canada, I'm not so sure about Canada, but I am so sure about US. There will be lots of classes available. About 1 week, students can go and sit in any class that they want. They will listen to the class. They will take the class which they like. Our Shastra also allows that. Okay. You can go listen to many gurus, as much gurus as you want. But after 1 week, after your shopping period is over, you have to commit to certain number of classes in order to get your degree. After a week, we will have a deadline. After the deadline, you have to tell, okay, I want to take classes A, B, C, D, E, Biology 101, Electronics 101, Engineering 325. They will have class codes and you have to commit to those classes, only then you will get degrees. In the same way, if you want to have spiritual progress, You listen to as many thoughts of schools of thought as possible. As many schools of thought as possible. Because our Sanatana Dharma is a Dharma which does not restrict anyone. Hey, you have to follow this. That restriction is not there. If you want Dvaita Bhakti, there are Dvaita schools of philosophy. If you want Advaita, if you are really into Jnana, there are Jnana based Advaita schools of philosophy. You want to remain in Advaita but then commit to Bhakti, there are Bhakti based Advaita schools of philosophy. Go to Visishta Advaita, go to Prema Bhakti, any flavor that you can ever imagine. Our Sanatana Dharma has got schools for all those flavors. Schools are still evolving. They all are Sampradaya as well. Don't think that, okay, somebody has taught some school and we accept. We don't accept that. We only accept those philosophies which are rooted in Shruti, Smriti and Itihasa. Because we have got lots of Shrutis, lots of Smritis, lots of Itihasa, there is no dearth of philosophies in our Dharma. You go do shopping. But if you want to have a spiritual progress, after you sample the platter, you go to a hotel, they will have an appetizer platter. You taste from the platter, but then you commit to something. If you want to have a spiritual progress, you commit to one school. You commit not even to one acharya, but commit to one school of philosophy. Veda yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaha vedavada ratah partha nanyadastiti vadinaha. Commit to one philosophy, Advaita philosophy. Okay, even in Advaita philosophy, there are several sub-schools. There are traditional Adi Shankaracharya based philosophy schools like, the traditional Shankara Matas, Kanchi Mata, Shringeri Mata, etc. There are some schools who are little bit modern yet follow the Shankara Sampradaya like Chinmayananda, Dayananda, etc. And then there are Ramana schools of Advaita philosophy. They all teach Advaita. They all teach Adi Shankaracharya. There is absolutely no second question about that. But the way they teach will be different. If you go to traditional mutts, you have to follow traditional practices. Right from your clothing to your food to your day-to-day acharya, you have to follow. There will be some compromises here and there if you follow other schools of, again, Shankara-based philosophy. So there is no problem in following, in reaching out to these acharyas, reaching out, reading about these things, but then you stick to one guru, you stick to one school of thought. Only then you can make progress. Otherwise, spiritual progress might not be possible. So Yamima, so that all these things is called as Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, Nischayatvatma Buddhi. So we saw these things, and then Bhogaishwarya Prasaktanam Tayapa Hrititesa Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Samadhavana Vidiyate Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvanto Nityasatvastaha Niryogakshema Atmavan. Krishna is starting to talk about Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is an intermediate state between Ajnana and Jnana. Karma Yoga helps you to get Chitta Shuddhi, purity of mind, so that the mind can then understand Jnanam. So that is the goal of Karma Yoga. So a person used to be a Karmi, and a person has to graduate towards a Karma Yogin. Again, the difference between Karmi and a Karma Yoga, they both will do actions, but Karmi will do actions for the phalam of the action. Karma yoga, a karma yogin. Karma yogin is a person who follows karma yoga, does not do action for the sake of getting phalam. How can one do such action? Krishna is going to explain later. And then there is jnana yoga without any action. So this is the flow chart. A karmi to karma yogi to jnana yogi. And Krishna says, Yavanartha udapane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. Krishna says, hey Arjuna, do not think that when you follow karma yoga, you will not get any phalam. Karma yoga is like an ocean, it's like a large freshwater lake. Whatever the phalam that you are going to get in a glass of water. What is glass of water? It can quench your thirst. A lake can also quench your thirst. But lake is going to do more than just quenching your thirst. Karmi is like that glass of water. Karma yoga is like that lake. Whatever you can get from following karma, you will get the same thing from following karma yoga as well, plus more. Yavan artha udapane sarvataha samplutodake. Whatever you are going to get from a tumbler of water, a glass of water, you will get the same thing from a freshwater lake as well. But a freshwater lake is going to do more. Tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. Then what is that blessed karma yoga? Very, 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 very important shloka. If you want to commit some shlokas from Gita to memory, I would advise commit all the 700 shlokas from Gita to memory. If you cannot do that, there are certain shlokas which are very, 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 very important. This is one of the shloka. Karman evadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbuhu ma te sangostva karmani. Krishna defines what is karma yoga. Krishna defines what is karma yoga. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbuhu ma te sangostva karmani. You first see the overall meaning of the shloka. Krishna says, hey Arjuna, te adhikaraha karmani eva. The shloka is often misrepresented, misinterpreted shloka. People will say, Kadamayai chai palanai edir parade. Kadamayai chai palanai edir parade. The shloka does not say that. The first, this thing says, Kadamayai chai. Karmani eva adhikarahate. Hey Arjuna, you have adhikara on karma. Ma phaleshu. Krishna does not say palanai edir parade. Krishna says palan meedu patru vaikade. Because later Krishna will say palanai edir paakamal mando pina pravartate. ஒரு மூடன் கூட பலன் இல்லைனா அந்த காரியத்தை பண்ண மாட்டான். So, எந்த காரியம், whatever karma that you are going to do, again, the shloka is not only for doing Vaidika karma, it is for doing Laukika karma as well. Your duties, whatever duties that you have got, do the duty for the sake of doing duty, not for the phalam. Ma phaleshu kadachana. In the meantime, at the same time, ma karma phalaheturbuhu ma te sangostva karmani. Because I don't have any attachment towards the phalam of that karma, can I stop doing karma altogether? No. Mate sangostu akarmani. Just because I say, Arjuna, do not have an attachment over the phalam, does not mean that you can stop doing karma altogether. You have to do karma, but do not have an attachment over the phalam of that karma. So what we will do is that because the shloka is very, very important, it has got deep meaning. We will first read the Bhashyam from Shankara Bhashyam. Krishna says, Karmani eva adhikaraha na jnananishthayam te tava. Karmanyeva adhikaraste, Krishna says. So Acharya says, Krishna is telling to Arjuna, hey Arjuna, you have adhikara over karma. Na jnananishthayam. You do not have any adhikara over jnanam. Why? Because the place Arjuna is standing is not an ashrama. The place Arjuna is standing is not ashrama. He is standing in the middle of a war field. In the middle of a war field, a person cannot go and say, okay, I don't follow any karma, I want to follow jnana. You cannot do that. If you are that much committed to jnana, you can very well go to an ashrama and then sit in ekanta and then pursue your pursuit of jnana yoga. But you are not in an ashrama, you are in a war field. We all have to learn lessons from that. Just because you learned Vedanta does not mean that you can go and keep on criticizing people who are doing karma. Unfortunately, I am seeing this a lot these days. This person would have read some introductory text on Vedanta, like Atma Bodha, Tattva Bodha, etc. by some really good, competent guru. But he will go to a temple, and in the temple he will start preaching. Ayyo, puja ellam onnume kedaiyadu, namma atma dhaan. Puja ellam onnume kedaiyadu, atma dhaanna நம்ம கோவிலுக்கு வரணுங்கிற அவசியமே இல்லை. நீங்க ஆத்துலயே உட்கார்ந்துட்டு இருக்கலாம். But this person will come to temple. I am criticizing Vedantis. Okay, I am not criticizing Karma Yoga. I am not criticizing Karmi. In fact, you should never criticize a person who does karma. Krishna is going to talk about that later as well. Nabuddhi Vedam Janayet, he will say. So just because you learnt Vedanta does not give you an excuse to go and stop people who are doing karma. Right? So Krishna says, Karmani eva adhikara te, and Acharya gives in bracket na jnana nisthayam. So if you are in a place where karma is being performed, you have to know that there, whatever that is ordained for them is karma yoga or karma. Maximum what you can go and tell them is, do the karma not for the sake of the phalam, but as a offering to Swami. I have seen this in many places, especially people who have started reading Vedanta. They will go to inappropriate places. They will start talking about inappropriate things. You will go to temple and then say, okay, pujaye vendam. Pujaye vendana namma kovilukku pogama irundhirukkalam. Namma kovilukku povum. He will go to a homa and then he will start criticizing the homa. Ayyo, homa alla ennathukku pannite? Atma da mukkiyam. Atma da mukkiyamna namma saapidama irukoma, namma office ku pogama irukoma, namma adutha velakku sambadikama irukoma, namma business pannama irukoma, eduvume kedaiyadhu. You are doing cutthroat business. When I say you, I am talking about the potential, the so-called Advaita Vedantin who is criticizing karma. Right? நீ பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணாமல் இருக்கியா? இல்லை. பிஸ்னஸில் 1000 தப்பு நம்ம பண்ணுவோம். ஆனால் யாராவது ஒருத்தர் சந்தியாவந்தனம் பண்ணால், சந்தியாவந்தனம்லாம் என்னத்துக்கு பண்ணிட்டு, do not do சந்தியாவந்தனா, it is not going to give you moksha. This person, instead of doing sandhyavandana, he will do some cunning business. I mean, I am not criticizing people who do business. That is their dharma. Just because you have learnt Vedanta does not give you an excuse not to do any karma. Because even Krishna says to Arjuna, karmani eva adhikaraha. And Adi Shankaracharya knows that, okay, people will be doing this later. That is why Adi Shankaracharya is supplying na jnana nisthayam tetava. You do not have adhikara for jnana. All of us do not have any adhikara for jnana. We can only know about jnana, but only when you follow karma, only doing karma will graduate you to do karma yoga. Doing karma yoga will graduate you to follow jnana. Does not mean that you have to stop doing karma. Right? So that has to be very, 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 very carefully understood. So Krishna says, karmani eva adhikaraha na jnana nisthayam tetava. Then Shankara says, tatracha, while doing karma as well, karma kurvato ma phaleshu adhikaraha astu. While doing karma, you only have adhikara to do karma, not for the phalam of that karma. Because when we think about objectively, the phalam for your karma not only depends upon you, but also depends upon the karma of other people that are involved in the action. Let us take an example. I am working in a company. I want a promotion. I am trying for a promotion. Right? Whether you get promotion in that company or not only depends upon your action, but it also depends upon the punya papa of other people who are competing for that promotion. Right? I have lots of punya, I will get promotion now. If somebody has got more punya than you, he will get first priority. It also depends upon the company, whether the company deserves to have you or not. I have decided that, okay, if I don't get promotion, I am going to switch to another company. Right? So whether you get promotion or not only depends upon your karma, it also depends upon the karma of that company. Whether that company deserves to have you or not. Maybe other company deserves even more to have you. So this company will not give you promotion. This is just one example. So any phalam for any action does not depend only upon you. When I say you, it means that the person who tries for that karma. But it also depends upon the karma, punya phala, the phalam for actions of all the other people which we cannot judge. That is why the whole karma theory is like that net. The result of your action will be dependent upon the results of so many people's karma. You are always at the right time, at the right spot. There is one phrase that says, being there at the right time. You are always at the right time because the phalam for your action is It's not only your action, it is the net result of all the other people. You take the promotion example. When you get promotion, you will get a pay rise. When you get a pay rise, not only you will be benefited, but your family people will be benefited. Not only your family people will be benefited, your friends will be benefited. Not only them, people who work under you will be benefited. If I get promotion, if I get more money, I can pay my driver more money. So if he deserves to have more money, will be dependent upon my karma. Or what will I do? If I don't get more money, if my driver is asking for a raise, what will I do? I will fire the driver, get another driver. So this person has to lose his job, another person has to gain his job, all of them will be dependent upon my karma. So this karma theory, it is beyond our understanding, right? It has got a very global effect. We only think about us, we only think about our family. Maximum we will think about our inner circle, but our karma does not depend upon that. There is a theory called as chaos theory. You know, they talk about chaos theory in even cosmology. Right, a small change during initial condition will have a lots of effect on final condition. People who have got interest in chaos theory can go look it up. A small change in the initial condition will have a large effect in final condition. They call it as butterfly effect. You know, when a butterfly flaps its wing, it will have an effect somewhere, somehow, they say. So the karma theory is intertwined. So that is why Krishna says, Karmani eva adhikaraha. Your duty is to do karma. But do karma without having attachment towards the phala. Because when we do karma, you are going to get punya papam. When you have an attachment towards the phalam, you will get punya papam. When I get punya papam, it is going to lead me to next janma. So what I have to do? I have to do my part. At the same time, I should not get punya and papa mutai baggage. So that I will contribute to the society, but I will not get the baggage of punyam and papam, so that I will not get the next janma. We will speak about this shloka for a couple of days, because the shloka has got lots of interpretations, lots of corollaries. The shloka is often misinterpreted by Vedantic students. So we have to have a very clear mind before going forward. If you don't understand it now, it is okay. We will be seeing the same shloka in coming weeks as well. There is one question in the chat box. I will come to that question after finishing the class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So there is a question in the chat box. I welcome asking those questions. So somebody has asked, even if other people do bad, or we cannot comment on karma partially done. Sorry for rephrasing for clarity. According to Gita, we don't have the right to critique others' karma. By karma, does it mean when people speak hurtfully or doing bad karma, maybe not working in this case and getting it from others or criticizing, backstabbing, okay, are not executing their actions of, say, doing their work? It is a very good question. Often this question comes to our mind. Okay, I go to a restaurant. I am giving you a restaurant example. According to Shastra, you should not go to restaurant, eat out. That is there. But I am just giving it an example. Okay, I go to a restaurant, they give me bad food. Should I criticize or not? Because Gita seems to say do not criticize others. Right? You should criticize. Because you pay money. Right? It is your duty to criticize. I am a mother. I am a father. My son is not doing correct actions. Should I criticize now? You should criticize because it is your duty. Whenever a duty is involved, you should do that duty. I am a manager. A person who's working for me is not doing their actions properly. Should I criticize them or not? If you don't criticize, it is amount to pratyavayam. Pratyavayam is a technical name for a papam that you will incur if you don't do your duty. Pratyavaya, it is the name of a papam. It is a technical name for a papam that you would encounter if you don't do your duty. You know, we have seen this word before. Neha vikramana shosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayato mahato bhaya. You should criticize their action, but not for the sake of criticizing, but in order to do your duty. There are two things. I will criticize somebody to hurt others, or I will criticize somebody in order to make them do the right thing. Criticizing is the same action. What is the intent with which you criticize them? Very different. I criticize them because I want them to do their duty. You should do it. Because it is your duty to make them do their duty. If my son, if my daughter, if my wife, if my husband, if my parents are not doing the right thing, as a relative, as a friend, as a family, it is absolutely correct to go and correct them if you have the adhikara. But you have right to correct them. You don't have right to hurt them. These are two different things. There are many ways of correcting them. There are many ways of correcting people. While you have right, while you are duty bound to correct them, you don't have any right to hurt them. As long as you are within the boundary, you absolutely have all the rights to correct them. You have to be very, very careful, correct and not criticize. I hope it answered their question. Did it answer your question? I think the question was asked by Shruti Sukumar ji. Did it answer your question, ji, or you want more clarification? Okay. Yes. Okay. She said yes. Okay. Now, this will also lead to another thing. This is not about secular work. It is about, okay, I go to a puja, they are doing it wrong. Should I correct them or not? We have seen lots of people doing this. There is a way to do this. We will see how to do that in the next class. Okay. So with this we will finish today's class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti